We're going to have a look at angle problems now involving what we call angles of turn. So we know that the angle in a full turn is 360 degrees. Now how does that work out? Well, if we took a point there and said, right, I'm going to do a quarter of a turn we know gives us a 90-degree angle. If I did half a turn, I add another quarter, and that gives me 180 degrees. Oh, that's not very good, but you can see what I'm getting at. 3/4 of a turn. So we've got 90 degrees. Can you see we've turned 180 degrees? Now we've turned 270 degrees, and our full turn, which is another right angle, another quarter of a turn, means that we've turned 360 degrees. And that's how we demonstrate the angles in a turn is 360. Sorry about that circle. Okay, now this type of problem can be presented to us in a number of ways. So let me give you an example. So sometimes you might be asked a question, let's make that better than that looks not doing very well here. Let me try again. Okay, I'm going to draw a compass. Right, so there we go. So that's a bit better, isn't it? And that's a bit better. So we've got never eat shredded wheat, and then we've got northeast and southeast, and then we've got southwest, and then we've got northwest. Now the question might be, if I'm travelling north and I suddenly change direction to southeast, what degree of turn do I go through? Well, the first thing that we've got to do is to work out, well, first of all, how many sections are there in our compass? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there are 8 sections. So actually we've then got to say, well, what are each of those sections worth? Well, we know the whole turn is 360 degrees. So if we do a quick short division that tells us, so 8 into 36 is 4, 4 8s are 32, remainder 4, so 8 into 40 is 5. Now that's the first thing that we've got to do. It tells us that each section is worth 45 degrees. So now I can answer my question. If I'm starting to go north but I want to change direction, what degree of turn do I have to go through to start going in that direction? Well, we can see now we've got 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections, all of 45 degrees. So 45 degrees multiplied by 3, 3 5s are 15, 3 4s are 12, 135 degrees. So the answer to my problem would be that I change direction by 135 degrees. Remember what we did? We looked at how many sections there were, and then we made the value of each section by dividing it by dividing 360 by the number of sections. Let me show you another one quickly that you can sometimes come across, and it would look, sometimes it's presented to us in a clock face. So we have 12, 3, 6 and 9, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Now it might be, the type of question might be related to the hour hand or to the minute hand. Let me give you an example. So it might be that the question says it's 5 past the hour. What would the angle of turn be to get to 1/2 the hour? So we've got to start thinking again, well, how many portions are there? Well, let's think this time. There's 1, each of these represents, of course, a portion in our clock, and you can see when we count them up, there are 12 portions. So we've got to then, like we did last time, say, well, okay, if there are 12 portions, 12 into 36, we know that each of these elements of turn now is worth just 30 degrees. Remember when we did the compass, it was 45 degrees. So to go from 5 past the hour, let's have a think. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go through 5 sections. So each section we've just realised is 30 degrees, so my turn from 5 past the hour, 30, 60, 90, 120 actually would give me a turn of 150 degrees. Okay, and the last one that I've seen, just be careful, sometimes, and they're all circle related as you can see so far, but it might be to do with something like this. Sometimes I've seen it relating to washing machines, and it's got, you might see something that says off, dry, soak, we might have wash down here, rinse, and spin. Okay, now don't worry about the words, they're there really to try and sort of just put us off a little bit. Now the same thing applies. The question might say, well, how many degrees will it go from soak to wash? Now here you can see what's happened. A trap has been set because these elements are not all equal. We've got a huge gap here, and you can see what it's asking us to do is just to put that in there. Then we now know how many sections we've got. It happens to be 8. We know from our working compasses that therefore each section is 45 degrees, and that will enable us to answer the type of question that asks, you know, if I've got my pointer starting off, so there's my dial on my washing machine, how many degrees before it gets to spin? And that's it.